Well, your sidekick, you already said it.
Ah, War Factory, my beloved. Isn't that right?
However, while you said that war factories usually counter sandworms, there's something important I forgot about.
And that would be.
Why don't you go click on that level 2 sandworm and see what it has as its equipment?
Oh, absorb now. I mean, as War Factory levels increase and the damage on the board increases as a whole, that doesn't go that well, I imagine, but it is definitely a vast improvement. Also, the increased health, 30%, would synergize with burrow maintenance and give it even more HP. I do not understand why we are putting the crawler spawn here when there's a perfectly fine spot like here. And if we just put something at the front, even if it's just a bit of a chaff unit, we can lure that Wraith forward, I imagine. Maybe on that side it's even better because the Wraith is a bit further up, I think. And we could just, you know, get some crawlers from the back that chew up the marksman and get the tower. Speaking of marksmen, what are they here for? Just
Mostly just
anti-air?
just provide anti-units, really, because he has
Okay.
the sandworm, then he has the fortress. And I
Well,
figure it'd eventually lock on there.
it does not really do a whole lot, to be honest, to be firing at leveled sandworms with techs with just a few dinky level 1 marksmen. So the big question is, how much damage is that worm going to take at most? I think we may need steel balls here. That sandworm died mid-strike. But I did actually get rid of all the opponents, and I don't think there's enough damage left to deal with this board. Fort just splashes the tower, and the board falls apart. What are your thoughts now?
Well, shit.
That
That was
sums it up.
exactly what was running through my mind because I didn't read the that he had the module until after this round.
Oh. So you didn't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guilty of similar things, and if you think I'm always checking the text that my opponent is using, you would be sorely mistaken. This now adds a significant amount of damage reduction and range reduction, although that's not all that important.
I know I shouldn't spoil things, but that was actually it wasn't even really his fault, but that sandstorm worked against him.
I
It
can
wasn't
kind of
even
imagine, yeah. Like
it wasn't even
Mustangs.
his fault, but you'll see. That's all I can say without
Okay,
spoiling too
okay.
much. I've already said too much actually.
I mean, you were smart enough to get melters. I think melters behind some chunky units are perfectly fine here. We can counter a bunch of stuff this way. And we just go melter and rave here or something like that. Yeah, what I was about to say is range. No, if you're going for worms like that, I heavily suggest having like range and possibly even air units to shoot at and anti-air to just keep the Mustangs out of the range. Because otherwise they are kind of just a bit sad here. That said, at least this round, he still is showing no signs of losing. The range on Sandstorm is honestly pretty great. You're going to have your Mustangs at quite the range to keep him away. Yeah, laser sight makes sense. Now throw range on the Mustang, so at least one higher level pack can stay out of the range. That would be what I would be doing here, I think. No, technically we don't really have a high level one. But this one's going to go level 3 next round, probably, if it doesn't end here. Alright, so War Factory didn't work, Tech on War Factory didn't work, Melter didn't work. What's the counter? More Factory. I think I couldn't have timed that better than I did, right?
Mm-hmm. And now I want you to really pay attention to that enemy melting point.
Alright. It's technically designed to lock onto the war factory as quickly as possible. It is also in a prime position, if things turn out well, to just intercept all the war factory, but this is now a whole lot of steel ball. You don't have any on the board, so you can't get mechanical division here, right?
Yeah, steel division, I can't get that, yeah.
Steel division. Or is it steel division or mech div? I think it's mechanical division. Ah, who cares?
We know what it is we're talking about anyways. Right, pay attention to that melting point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, instantly locked one war factory. That makes this a good investment.
But hey, remember that sandstorm?
Oh. Yeah,
it wasn't even his fault. It wasn't even his fault, but I was so thankful that sandstorm was actually bought there. It bought the time for a few extra spawns and to do more damage.
That worm finally went down, and now there's 2 war factories out and loose to produce units. The smelter is going to be a bit of a pain under the debuff though, because it can still eat a sizable amount of stuff. This is a pretty sad fight. This fortress definitely has damage though. But the steel ball is on the tower, and that should turn the entire round in our favor. We have steel balls, we can crack this, no problem. Is that enough damage? No, it's not going to be, I wager. Relatively close, but only relatively. Compared to the amount of health he had before. Alright, opponent now needs to think what he's going to do. Multimelt, okay? They really like to counter war factory spawn with multimelt, I get the impression.
But you know what's better than 3 war factories?
4, 5, 6, 10, 50.
As many as I can conceivably get.
I think there has to be a maximum amount of war factory you can put on the board. Like, there must be a maximum number.
Yeah, hence the as many as I can get away with.
Yeah. I think the game also has an internal 40 round limit. No game can ever last more than 40 rounds. And I think if you try to do 40 rounds in the training grounds, it actually stops you from going further and you have to restart the training grounds.
And you can see I just try to throw some cheap chaff out there just to distract any melting points.
We wouldn't want another instant lock. Technically though, the war factory is somewhere else. We could just hit the mass recruit button and drop an additional war factory, if we so desire. But let's see what the opponent does.
No, unfortunately I was short on money.
Okay.
I was considering. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I tried to get it, but it was too late.
You did put a level or 2 on that tower, I see.
Yeah, that was a clutch upgrade. It actually comes in handy.
Ooh. So the multi-melts have started to melt, but the sandstorm just interrupts that lock, and they have... Oh, that is no range at all, basically.
Yeah, that sandstorm, like, I can't fault him, but it really screwed him over.
Yep. Sandstorm is one of the techs that you need to know how to play if you want to invest into it. Does he at least have EMP missiles? This guy has EMP missiles. Now I want to redo this round, yeah.
Yeah, the clutch upgrade on the tower stopped the sandworm from killing it and buying my war factory's time.
Now this war factory might go down... No, does not go down. Which is very bad for the opponent now. The sandstorm is basically spawn camping the factory. But the factory spam is once again just overwhelming the opponent's board. And that means that's it.
Boom. Boom.
Boom, boom. Alright, let me try this one now. I want to see if that is a decent option, just going for the EMP missiles.
You know, I should really just set up some scenarios for you to see if you can pick apart my war factory builds.
Maybe see.
Don't they have a custom challenge creator or something like that?
I think so, but I don't think you can just willy-nilly submit stuff there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, let's hit a few buttons here. I think these units are not getting their worth. Let's push these buttons and add 2 more of that. And I think we're gonna get attack enhancement here. And then we just see if we can punish this heavily. Because that's going to, if it lands, shut off a whole lot of techs on the war factories. I think we ought to win this side already without any future investment. Now at least some of the Mustangs get to stay out of the range of the, what's it called again? And here we start splashing a bunch of war factories and the EMP is just taking them down, basically. It's making them completely useless.
Yep.
This is what I would have wanted to do before in the previous one, where I tried to do a fix, but he didn't have EMP on melters, so I couldn't do it. But yeah, now we win with an overwhelming amount of stuff. This was 2,600 damage almost. If we go back to the replay, what was the amount? Yeah, this would have killed you several times.
Mm-hmm.
EMP missiles, definitely something you will need to watch out for. Alright, let's get into playing. I'm hungry. Hungry for playing.